Hi guys, my name is EKD and I'm a brand specialist. I'm a brand identity designer, and all I do is to create content that will enable everyone that will come in contact with my channel become a very good brand identity designer. And that's what I'll be doing today. This is a collaboration video, and I want to say a big shout out to Delight Graphics for taking this video in. All right, so what I'll be talking on today is how to design a logo from start to finish. All right, I'm going to try my possible best to break it down in a way that you can understand, and we're going to likely have practicals. All right, I'm going to have practical sessions. All right, so just pay attention even as we begin. I'll bid you to subscribe to this channel, like the videos, share them. All right, share them. All right, it's very important. So let's begin.
Hi guys, my name is EKD. Welcome to my channel. From graphics design to motion graphics, from branding to logo designs, all I do is to simplify your design learning process. You can trust me on that. I provide awesome tutorials that will help you learn fast. All you have to do is to subscribe to this channel, like my videos, and share. Welcome once again to this channel. Enjoy.
So what I'll do basically is to share this process into three different phases. All right, I'm going to give you 3 D's. So the first D is digest. So what do I mean by digest? You receive a brief and you are given this brief to read through it. All right, we know most times this is a normal way to do things, getting to understand the brief and all that, but we're going to take it a step further. All right, take it a step further. You are going to gather as much as you can gather about the brand. You don't just jump into doing a logo by knowing few things. All right, you have to know everything that you have to know about the brand. You want to know what they do. All right, you want to know more about their personality. You want to know more about their core values. So those help to form what you call your logo. That's the first thing you want to do, because most designers, they make the mistake of jumping into just designing. So you don't do that. As a professional brand identity designer, you don't do that. All right, what you do first is to know more about the brand. All right, engage your client, engage them, ask them questions about their brand, ask them about their competitors. You want to know their competitors, you want to know what you are creating for them. All right, there are other questions you might likely ask them. All right, what they tend to be in future. All right, do they tend to are they going to expand in future? You want to know these things so you know how to position them, because that would determine greatly how the logo is going to look. That would greatly determine the kind of logo type you are going to use. If you are going to use lettering, if you are going to use a word mark, so that will greatly determine. So the first one, you digest the brand, you digest the brief. All right, you take it in and you just suck everything you have to suck in about the brand. All right, so number 2, we have the draw. So I told you I'm going to give you 3 Ds. So the second D is draw. So what do I mean by draw? You know, these ideas don't just come from anywhere. We talked about digesting. All right, designers are stranded because they don't have enough idea about the company. They don't have enough knowledge about the company. So creativity mainly feeds on what you know. You understand? You cannot just jump on your computer and start designing something from a knowledge you don't have. So ideas begin to come from what you've digested. All right, so when these ideas begin to come, you begin to draw. While drawing, you want to sketch different ideas. Sometimes you might be up to 20, sometimes it might just be few. All right, it depends on you. You just sketch the different ideas. You take from their core value. Is it a simple brand? Is it a premium brand? So those their core values begins to form an idea in your head, and those ideas you begin to pen it down. Like what I said before, they won't come from anywhere. They will come from the knowledge you have about the brand. So make sure you get enough knowledge before you start drawing. So while drawing, you can use just a pen and a paper. All right, use a pen and a paper. You start sketching the different ideas you have. Okay, like I said, you can use a logo book, you can just use a drawing paper and your pen. All right, So we're just going to do something for an imaginary brand, G Telecom. All right, so let's just get started. So just try to document our ideas by drawing. All right, let's start by playing with the brand initials, the GT. You might have to draw, for instance, we might have to draw the different samples or the different logo forms from our idea. All right, so we just try to do something. All right, you mustn't know how to draw. All right, what makes it perfect is your computer system. Although some persons know how to draw, so they just have that advantage, but it is not compulsory you know how to draw. All right, so what we're trying to play with is maybe the brand name. All right, the initials, the initials. So we just keep drawing, just allow the ideas flow. All right, allow the idea to flow. So we are trying to do something. For some things you can play with is the brand name. You can play with the initials. All right, just play with the initials, till you find something good. All right, just play with the initial till you find something very, very, very good. Very, 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 very good. All right, have something like this and have something like this. So most times if you see something that you are okay with, you can just try to refine it. All right, you can try to refine it. So trying to use the brand initials might just come from our first D. All right, digesting the logo. When you are digesting the logo, you have to know more about the brand name. All right, you have to know more about the brand name. So those are things you can play with, and that's what we're trying to play with. The GT. So if I see something that I like, all right, what I usually do is that I have to make it bigger. All right, I have to make it bigger. Bigger. All right. And at the end of the day, you just look at it and pick the best. All right, pick the best. Pick what? You have to pick what? The best. All right, the best of the best, the one that will suit the personality of the brand. All right, so that's for that. So the number 3 and the last is what? Designing. The third D is what? Designing. Most times people are already used to designing. All right, they jump the first and second step, they just go into designing, but you don't design first. All right, remember the last step we talked about is drawing. We talked about what? We talked about drawing. So when you bring your sketches in front of your screen, you want to choose the best, and there are 3 things that determines what you choose. All right, so that will determine what you choose. So it does not matter if you draw 20 samples, it does not matter if you sketch them 20 ideas, it doesn't matter. So these 3 things will determine, number 1, how simple is that sketch. All right, so you look at all your sketch, how simple, which is the simplest. All right, which is the simplest. And another thing you want to look at is which is most unique, which is most distinctive. All right, you don't want to form, because most times when you're forming ideas from your head, the first thing that begins to come are things you've seen before. All right, so you don't want your logo to begin to look like something some brand already have. All right, after looking at the one that is the most simple, all right, you look at also the one that is most distinctive from others. All right, that is very, very, very important. You look at the one that is mostly what? Unique, because every brand has is unique personality. All right, so if I find something cool, I just need to make it bigger. All right, so what do you think about it? I think this is okay. All right, this is okay for the sake of this tutorial. This is okay. So the last thing you want to consider before choosing the logo to design or to execute, all right, because the design stage is also called the execution stage, when you execute your ideas. All right, so what you want to lastly consider is how flexible that form is. All right, how flexible that sketch is. Sometimes out of the 20 sketch, 3 might meet up to these standards. All right, don't get me wrong, 3 might meet up to the standards, so it might not just be 1. All right, so you look at it, is it flexible enough? What do I mean by flexibility? How long can this logo stand? Can it stand the test of time? Can it appear on all kinds of surfaces? All right, so you don't want to make a logo that is not flexible. All right, like you see this logo, it is very flexible. We can break it down into different segments. All right, and it will still show that it is owned by the brand. So this is what I mean by flexibility. This is a very typical example of flexibility, no matter how you break it down. So that's flexibility for you. All right, so you want to take note, it has to be what? Flexible. And looking at all your forms and picking the ones that meet up to the standard we just mentioned, which is flexibility, distinctiveness, and simplicity. So finally, we've got something, all right, that is simple, something that is distinctive. I don't think you've seen this kind of mark as well. So it's distinctive. So you can do more than 4. Of course, you can do more than 4. Some persons do up to 20. So it depends on what you want. It depends on how the idea keeps coming. All right. So this is what we are going to go with. If 4 of them meet the standard, then you take them to your computer. All right. That's when you execute the 4 of them. Let's just get to the computer. So one way you can get to the computer is by taking a snapshot. All right, so I'll just use my mobile phone to take a snapshot of it. So, or you can scan it into your computer, so whichever way. So I'll just take a snapshot of it. All right, I'll take a snapshot of it with my mobile phone. I'll take a snapshot of it. So that's typically it. Going into executing proper, choose a software to use. Adobe Illustrator is one of the best, all right, to execute what you've sketched. All right, so what you want to do is you want to use your shape builder tool. All right, do not draw I'll just go back to the drawing stage a bit. Do not draw something that is very complex. All right, do not draw it's not advisable for logos to be complex. All right, you can check my other videos. You see why a logo should not be very complex. So you want to draw something that is very simple, because logos that contain basic shapes are easily remembered. They are memorable. All right, so you want to take note of that. All right, so what you do is you take it to Illustrator. You use your shape builder tool to build this shape that you've sketched. All right, sometimes you might want to use the golden ratio. All right, check my other video. If you don't know about the golden ratio, you can check my other video where I use the golden ratio to design the logo. You can use grid. All right, you can use grid. Why do we use grid? It makes the logo symmetric. Like what I say in my videos, one of the core things that make everything beautiful is when they are symmetric. You want it to be well aligned. All right, so that's what we mean by being symmetric. So you either use the grid or use the golden ratio to execute it, and all can be done by using your Adobe Illustrator. So for this one, we are going to use our basic shapes. All right, we're going to use basic shapes to form what we have here. That's why you must make your logo simple, because there are many advantages of making your logo simple. So let's just insert our caption. All right, so I'm going to just make my grid visible. Right, I'll make it a little bit transparent so I can trace it. So we'll rotate it a bit. Okay, I think this is okay. Then we just have to lock the layer so it does not move. All right, so the next thing to do is to start drawing your basic shapes. All right, like we said, we're going to use basic shapes. So I'm going to draw my circle. So I'm typically just tracing it. All right, I'm just tracing it. So I'm just going to place my shapes on everywhere I find lines. All right, place my shapes on everywhere I find lines. All right, so we're going to make another circle for the second line, second outer line. All right, okay, I think that's okay. Okay, better. Okay, I think what we need now is a rectangle. So we are typically just tracing. That's what you do for your own marks. You can just trace through it with your basic shapes. That's why I said if you are making your own logo, just use basic shapes so you can easily trace it. All right, there are many advantages to using basic shapes. If it's usually more complex than this, you have to use your golden ratio. All right, or your gridding systems. So but for this we are using our basic shapes. So we're going to place our rectangle, the lower parts. All right, so move it down a bit. Okay, move it down a bit. Make sure it's well aligned. Make sure it's well aligned. All right, make sure it's well aligned. So now we're going to apply our shape builder tool. It's easy to use. If you click on the plus, you can start adding. Just draw through the parts you want to be visible. All right, so I'm just going to draw through this place. Then you can change to the minus to be showing a minus sign. Then you can just remove the unwanted parts of it. All right, you can see that our mark has started showing. Right, so just remove the unwanted parts. You can see that it is straighter than before. We've done fine-tuning. Right, that was why I said you know how to draw is not that important. So what we're just going to do, let's remove the okay. I think it's okay now. You can see it's very neat and clean. Very neat and clean. So after now you can just try to apply colors. All right, you can try to apply color, but let's just add the text first. Let's add the name of the company. Right, let's add the name of the company first. So like what you said, G Telecom. Right, G Telecom. So that's what we're simply going to write, G Telecom. Okay, G Telecom. So just try things, try the one that works for you. All right, I don't think this G on caps works well. Okay, I have to change it. So we're going to add colors now. Let's just add color. I think we're going to use green. Right, I think green is okay. So all these will come from, all right, your idea. All right, your idea of the brand. So it will not come from anywhere to come from ideas. So that is why there has to be an already existing idea. So let's just change the font to a thicker one. I think this is okay. This is perfect. Okay, this is perfect. So I'll likely just reduce the whole thing so I can see it properly, and I'll align the type properly, or align the font properly. Right. So this is what we have at the end of the day. I think this is very cool. This is beautiful. So what you want to do at the end of the day, you can apply it to mockups just like this, different kinds of mockups. So what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I want you to comment what you think about this. All right, I want to comment what you think about this. I have all that videos, all right, all that videos that goes in depth to all these concepts I've mentioned, all right, all that practical examples, so you can do well to check them out. All right, so we're going to call it a day. All right, we're going to call it today. So I want to say a big thank you to Delight Graphics for hosting me right here on his channel, and I want to appeal to you all to subscribe. All right, subscribe to this wonderful, awesome channel, and look out for other videos, all right, other collaborations in the future. I hope you've been able to learn something. Do not forget the 3Ds we mentioned. We mentioned what? We mentioned digest, we mentioned what? Draw, and we mentioned what? Design, which is the execution stage. All right, and I want you to know for the execution stage that you might have a very good idea, but if it is poorly executed, it becomes what? It becomes nothing. All right, so you have to take note of execution. So that's it for today. Bye, see you next time.